our moods itself are not stable. Sometimes we feel we are in a very good mood. The reasons may be different. Somebody may be passing you an unexpected, very good smile, so you get in a good mood. Sometimes you meet with some success, you get in a very good mood. What happens when you are in a very good mood? That is, there is a full of energy. You are full of energy and you are enthusiastic to do some other work, or do you undertake more work. Same thing applies to a river. River, the earth's crust, as we have studied, is not stable. There are changes in the crust of the earth. What are the changes? They are not like our moods dependent on smiles of some people, or not dependent on successes. They are dependent on endogenetic process. As a result of this, there is sometimes upliftment of a land, there is a downgrading of the land. Whenever there is increase in the energy of a river, what do you mean by increase in energy? In the topography where the river is very dull, very low of energy, that means in the old or mature kind of a late mature kind of a topography, when the river has less energy is related to the flow and velocity of a river. When the river has less energy and suddenly there is an increase in the riverine energy, that means there is an increase in the erosive power of a river, because you remember energy is related to velocity is related to the erosive power of a river. Such process is known as river rejuvenation, or the making of the river new again. So our next topic is river rejuvenation, or river becoming very, very young again. Now, how is the river rejuvenation? Before the background, we know that the earth's crust is not stable. That means what do you mean by the earth's crust is not stable? As compared to the sea level, sometimes the earth, there is an uplifting of the land, sometimes there is a downgrading of the land. That is, sometimes the land goes up above the sea level, sometimes the land is submerged into the sea level. We will do this while doing the emerging coastline and submerging coastline in the Indian geography. That means there is an upliftment or downgrading. If you remember the Ice Age movie, what is an Ice Age movie? This entire part turned into an ice. This entire crust. Say, was there an Ice Age on India, or is it just in the world, or is it just a story? It's just a fiction. There was an Ice Age period. That means the Pleistocene period. This Pleistocene period, if you look, we will be doing some of the lectures which are only for the preliminary point of view. Here you will know what are the different kind of the periods. So during the Pleistocene period, there was an ice age on the earth when the entire oceans got turned into an ice, resulting into contraction of water because of the formation of an ice. That means fall in the sea level. Thus, the earth's crust is not stable. There is increase or upliftment of the land, or there is a decrease or rise in the land. Sea level. That means there is an upliftment of the land or decrease in the sea level, or the sea level may go down. Sea level may go down, or we can say there is depression of a land or rise in the sea level, submergence of a land, or a rise in the sea level. So these are the two movements which are common on the crust of the earth. These are due to the different reasons. Now here you are focusing only on the examination point of view. So such an upliftment of the land, that is when the land comes out from the sea, or the decrease or the sea level may go down. That is what we say, that if this is a sea level, even if the sea level goes down, the new land is exposed. It is similar to an upliftment of a land. In geographical terms, such changes are called as a negative changes in the sea level, because in geography we are studying it from the point of a sea level. So such kind of a movement are known as negative movement. Opposite movement are known as a positive movement. So what is a negative movement? It means upliftment of a land or fall in the sea level. So you remember for your examination, jab sea level goes down, or whenever there is a fall in the sea level or upliftment of a land, it is a negative concept. Why a negative concept? Because the sea level goes down. So with reference to the sea level. Whenever there is a submergence of a land or rise in the sea level, that is called as a positive movement in geography. Mythologically, what Sagar Manthan, something came, the mountain Meru came out of a sea. What movement it is? Upliftment of a land. Or submergence of a Dwarka due to positive change. So this is a negative movement. And this is a positive movement. This is a positive movement. Now, out of which these two movements will be the river rejuvenation or increase in the energy of a river or increase in the velocity of the river will be associated with? If there is a positive movement, if the sea enters the land, that means sea will offer resistance to the land, to the river water, to the flow of a river, because it may enter the land. That means it will offer resistance. It will decrease the velocity of a river. It will decrease the erosive power of a river. On the other hand, if the river is flowing into the sea and suddenly the sea level decreases, the river has to make an waterfall. Youthful stage means more erosive power. More erosive power means more energy, and therefore the negative movement is associated with more energy, and that is what our topic says, river rejuvenation. So that means the river rejuvenation is associated, why? With the negative movement. Why? The negative movement will steepen the slope. The steepening of the slope will increase the erosive power of a river. Will increase the erosive power of a river. I'll rub this now. What will it do? It will result into fall of a sea level or steepen the slope, or it will result into land being at a greater height. As compared to the sea, the land will be at a greater height. Because the land will be at a greater height, there will be increase in the velocity of a river. There will be increase in the velocity of a river. Or we can say there will be increase in the erosive power of a river. There will be increase in the erosive power of a river. That means erosive power, so such increase in the erosive power means the river is having more energy. Such concept is known as river rejuvenation. So what is a river rejuvenation, or how can we define river rejuvenation? It is associated with the negative movement. That means when there is an upliftment of a land or when the sea level goes down, it is called as a negative movement. Negative movement results into land being at a greater height as compared to the sea level. It results into steepening of a slope. This results into increase in the velocity of a river, which means the increase in the erosive power of a river. That means increase in the energy of a river. Therefore, the river actively engages in an down cutting. What this process is known as a river rejuvenation. So what is a river rejuvenation? River rejuvenation means river becoming young again. It means river becoming young again. River becoming young again. What do you mean by river becoming young again? It means that when the river, which is flowing through an old or mature landscape, having the topography associated with the old or mature landscape, and suddenly it becomes young, that means there is increase in the erosive power of a river. That means there is increase in the velocity of a river. It will obviously have a different kind, it will produce a different kind of a topography in that region. That is what is known as a river becoming young again. So in the regions where there was earlier an older topography, flat peneplain, meanders, you will see a new topography has developed inside an older topography. That is what is called as a river rejuvenation. So river rejuvenation means river becoming young again. That means there is increase in energy and velocity of a river. As a result of which the river engages in active down cutting. River engages in active down cutting. Therefore, the river which was at older stage shows characteristics of a young river. The river which was at the older stage, that means U-shaped valleys, very broad valleys, shows the characteristics of a young river. That means V-shaped valleys or a greater erosion. What is the one of the characteristics of an older age? Is a deposition. Instead of depositing, river starts eroding. So it shows the characteristics of a young river. This is what we call as a river rejuvenation. So can we conclude that in the older stage, river becomes young again? So can we conclude that it elongates the life cycle of a river? For example, if we are having very less energy at the older age and suddenly if we find a medicine or suddenly some incident happens that we have greater energy will exercise more, obviously there will be elongation of our natural life because of maybe healthcare intervention or because of maybe our own intervention such as lifestyle changes. That means we get full of energy, rejuvenated. Same applies to the river. So we can conclude here, river rejuvenation, it increases in this there is elongation of life cycle of a river. Life cycle of a river. There is an elongation of an life cycle of an river. Now how does it happen, or why does it happen? Remember your longitudinal profile of a river. Sea water. So how does the river? It comes in a youthful stage, then in a mature stage, then in an older stage where it starts meandering and ultimately goes into the sea. So this is the normal cycle of erosion. But if on the other hand, if there is increase in there is a subsidence of seawater, that is, instead of here the sea level decreases, sea level comes down. Obviously there is no resistance now to the river, so there is again increase in the velocity and therefore the river will start eroding these surfaces. On the other hand, even if the sea level stays the same, if the sea level stays same here, but if this portion here is uplifted by the endogenetic forces, that is, instead of here, this portion is now getting uplifted due to the endogenetic forces. So again the river will experience greater kind of an erosive power because it will form a waterfall, therefore it will erode this area greater. So the river which was supposed to die will reach the end cycle of an erosion in 100 years, maybe due to upliftment, due to fall in the sea level, due to different reasons, that is the negative changes. Instead of 100, the life cycle of a river becomes, for example, 125. That is the elongation. Why it becomes 125? Because it becomes young again, that means it starts eroding. So these are the reasons. This is known as river rejuvenation. What are the reasons for river rejuvenation? So the reasons are: the first reason is upliftment of an landmass. Upliftment of an landmass. Upliftment of landmass. When there was an upliftment of a landmass, the landmass got uplifted during the formation of Himalayas. So can we say most of the Himalayan rivers show the characteristics of rejuvenation? Yes. In the previous lecture we did Hundru waterfalls. There is upliftment of a landmass. Can we say that during the formation of Himalayas, even some part of India, that is the Chota Nagpur plateau region or the central part of India, also got uplifted as a side effect? Yes. So in upliftment of a landmass, here example we can say most of the Himalayan rivers. Most of the Himalayan rivers. Second example we can give Damodar river. Because the area got uplifted during upliftment of an landmass. During upliftment of Himalayas, the area also got uplifted. What is the second reason after this? Second reason is subsidence of a sea level or lowering of sea level. Subsidence means lowering, so subsidence of sea level. It will have same effect as an upliftment of the landmass. Only thing here, the land is active to get uplifted. Here the sea level is active to go down. Therefore again it will result into more elongation of a life cycle. How it is? Remember the previous diagram, that is, instead of in the later stages when there is a resistance, when the river is very boring, very sluggish due to the fall in the sea level, suddenly the river jumps from the slumber and starts actively eroding because there is no resistance of the sea. Therefore there is increase in the velocity of a river and therefore there is more erosion. Third is due to glaciation. Due to glaciation, Why due to glaciation? Because during glaciation there is lowering of sea level. During glaciation there is a lowering of sea level. So these are the reasons for river rejuvenation. Upliftment of a landmass, example I give you, most of the Himalayan rivers. Subsidence of a sea level, that is going down of a sea level, and glaciation, and because of glaciation, subsequent glaciation, there is a lowering of the sea level. Now what does it do to the topography? Why are we studying river rejuvenation? Why it is so important? Why is the, we can say, effects on the topography? How does it affect topography? The first effect is, what is the stage of a river? River rejuvenation is considered only when the river shows the characteristics of a young in the old stage. That means river rejuvenation. So the characteristics is, the first effect on the topography is, in the older stage, what does the river do? River meanders. That means there is a bending of the river. If we take a cross section of a meander, it will look like this. And from here, the river is flowing. But when the river is rejuvenated, what do you mean? If you remember, 2x into velocity is equal to 10 times the transportation capacity equals to 10 times the erosion capacity. So whenever the river is getting rejuvenated, that means there is a greater erosion capacity. So as a result, this river will start eroding this meander, and due to eroding of more and more meander, the meander will develop into V-shaped valley and subsequently into another U-shaped valley. So over the period of time, the river here won't flow from the top, the river will flow from the bottom of an meander. So the topography will look like this, what we call as in structural benches. Now why I said that structural benches are associated with river rejuvenation, because one of the first instance of a topography is meander inside a meander. So there will be formation of a meander inside an meander by a river. So we can conclude it like this, that there is a presence of meander inside an meander. So one of the first effect of topography, such kind of a meander which is inside an meander are known as an incised meander. That is, there is incised meander or entrenched meander. So one of the is meanders. Why are they developed? It means meander inside a meander. It means meander inside a meander developed due to active down cutting. Because of river rejuvenation. Because of river rejuvenation. So it means meander which is developed inside a meander due to active down cutting due to river rejuvenation. Such kind. If there is a third era of a river rejuvenation, if the second time there is a river rejuvenation, then meander inside a meander and one more meander will be formed inside, and the river will then flow through this inside meander. So during the third time such things will happen, that is we meander inside one more meander, inside one more meander. So this is one of the topographical effect is incised or entrenched meander, which means the meander inside an meander. What is the second effect? We have already done it, that is the river terraces. So what are these river terraces? Second effect is river terraces. That is the flat land which is developed on the either side of a river is river terraces. How it is developed? The river terrace is, how does it develop? It develops again due to an river rejuvenation. So look here now, how does it develop? Continuing our earlier part, that river terraces, we are part of river rejuvenation. River terrace. What is a terrace? A flat kind of a topography that is developed due to an erosion. Due to erosion of what? Floodplain, because the river flows through a channel. Now during the river rejuvenation, as there is an increase in the down cutting of the river, or as there is an increase in the vertical erosion by the river starts down cutting again, resulting into formation of an river terrace. So how does the river terrace forms? If this is an river channel which is flowing, and suppose there is a rejuvenation when the river is flowing, there is a sudden rejuvenation, what the river will do here? The river will down cut, the river will start vertically eroding, the river erosive power will increase downwards, that means it will result into formation of an valley, it will erode. So river kya erode karegi? First the valley floor. As a result, this valley floor will be eroded and the structure you will get is somewhat like this. That is, a flat level will be formed and the river will now start flowing through this region. Further erosion will result into formation of again a flat topography, and the river will start flowing through the downmost channel. So can we conclude what are river terraces? River terraces are flat, elongated, or we can say flat surface that are on the sides of what is this known as? What is this known as? What is this known as? It is known as a flood plain. So on the sides of a flood plain, the flat surfaces are known as a river terrace. What can we say from the river terrace? Can we say that river terrace are the remains of the flow of a river when previous to rejuvenation or before rejuvenation it was flowing through an older channel? That older channel is nothing but a river terrace. Can we say this?
Why this river terrace is formed? Because it has caused rejuvenation. So इससे पहले river used to flow through this channel. Now this channel. Now after that one more time. So we can say they are formed due to rejuvenation when they are remains of a previous flow of a river. So what are the river terraces? These are flat, elongated. We can say that are flat terraces or surface. Flat terraces or surface. Or surface found on the sides of floodplain. Found on the sides of an floodplain. Why are they formed? Which topic are we doing? Topography of rejuvenation. So why are they formed? Obviously due to river rejuvenation. They are formed due to river rejuvenation. Formed due to rejuvenation. Allow me to use shortcuts to save the time. They are formed due to rejuvenation, or we can say they are the remains of they are what remains of what? Earlier floodplains. When the river was flowing at a higher level before rejuvenation. When river was flowing at higher level before rejuvenation. Was flowing at higher level before rejuvenation. Now you remember this point is important because you may get an question that a part which is formed due to rejuvenation or the remains in which the remains of earlier floodplains in which the river was flowing higher is known as what in the preliminary examination. In fact, this is a proper geographical language that they are the remains of earlier floodplains when the river was flowing through a higher level. I hope that you are also noting down the points here so that you are preparing for the mains examination also and your notebook is getting ready for the geography along with the diagrams. Now, the river terraces are divided into two types. What are these two types? I will show you the diagrams here. What is the difference between the diagram? You tell me. Now you see this is one type of a river terrace. The other type of a river terrace is this is also one kind of an river terrace. These are the two kinds of an river terrace. What does it show? What is this river terrace? The river is flowing through this level now, and again यहाँ पे भी the river is flowing through the level now. So what does it show? Continuously matched this level with this level, this level with this level, as if the proper geometry has been fixed by the nature and properly they have been curved out. Such river terrace which are matching, and the other river terrace, you see these two are not matching. As if some is asymmetry in the nature. Obviously that looks more natural. So based on their way of matching, the river terraces are of two types, paired and unpaired terraces. So what are the two types of river terraces? These are paired terraces and this one is unpaired terraces. This is unpaired terrace. What is a paired terrace? When down cutting occurs evenly. Why it is formed paired? Because the down cutting has occurred evenly. And here the down cutting has occurred at a differential rate. It has not occurred evenly. So as a result of this, the unpaired terrace has been formed. Here the down cutting occurs evenly to form. Evenly means on both the sides there is an equal force of a river, because the same kind of a lithology, same kind of a rock structure, and as a result the down cutting has occurred evenly in this region. Yahan pe on the other hand, maybe this rock is different from the other side of a bedrock. As a result of this, or the river may be carrying different kind of sediments, and as a result of this the down cutting does not match, or the down cutting does not occur evenly. Therefore the two rivers, the two sides of the banks are not matching, commonly seen both the kind of a river terrace. If to next time you go to some river, and the river of the Himalayan river system, especially in the Himalayan, in the upper side of a river system where there are chances of rejuvenation, or even if you visit Jharkhand, if you visit Ranchi region, Ranchi Plateau region, you see the river Subarnarekha, you see the river Damodar in that region, and see, you will see commonly if both the sides are matching. Now you sit on one side of a river and exactly on that level is the other side. That is a perfect example of an paired river terrace. Unpaired river terrace is a perfect example is if you are sitting on one side, the other side is at a lower height, or the other side is at a higher height, depending on where you are sitting. That is an unpaired river terrace. So why does the unpaired river terrace occurs? Well, because down cutting obviously does not occur unevenly, or we can write it is due to uneven rate of down cutting. It is due to uneven rate of down cutting. So what is this river terrace? It is a flat surface found on the sides of a floodplain. Don't get confused. Don't confuse this with natural levee. Natural levee is a floodplain associated with a depositional feature. How was the diagram of a natural levee? Natural levee we shown only one part. और यहाँ पे कोई deposition is there, यहाँ पे कोई deposition is there. It was a ridge-like surface. A ridge means small continuous mountain system, or a hilly surface made of coarse sediments is a natural levee. Natural levee, flat, and on other hand terrace is a flat. Your terrace, घर का terrace is never an sloping or hill-like structure, because terrace is where you can stand on a flat area. So the flat surface along the side of a river is the river terrace, and ridge-like surface or ridge-like structure on the banks, near the banks of a river is natural levee. River terrace is due to erosion. What kind of it is an example of river rejuvenation. On other hand, natural levee is due to deposition. This just so that you don't get confused in this thing. Now the one more fact associated with the river rejuvenation is uplifted peneplain. Is an uplifted peneplain. What is a peneplain? Previous lecture we did, peneplain is a flat surface, flat featureless surface which signifies the end stage of an erosion of a river. That means it is the place where the river is moving very sluggishly. It is the place where the river is in the older stage. Now what do you mean by uplifted peneplain? Why does the river rejuvenation occurs? When we say river rejuvenation is there, when the river shows the characteristics of a young river in its older stage. That means river rejuvenation means if the peneplain, the river is flowing through a peneplain, the peneplain has to be at a, peneplain is at the sea level. You remember our diagram here? This region is a peneplain and this is the sea level. So peneplain or the flat surface is generally near the sea level. But if the peneplain is, now for river rejuvenation to occur in this, the river has to attain a greater velocity. The river is coming from a plateau, making a waterfall, alluvial fan, and going and depositing it in the, it is meeting the sea. Now for the river to get rejuvenated, there has to be either fall in the sea level or upliftment of a land. Now if this land is uplifted here, if the rejuvenation occurs at this point, this entire region is a peneplain. From here the flat surface, if the rejuvenation occurs at this point, this part will rise up due to upliftment and this part will go down. So how does our diagram look like? Our diagram will look like that means river is flowing in its normal course. It is flowing through this peneplain and suddenly this peneplain is uplifted. That is, this part has uplifted, and because of upliftment, this area, the plain area, which should be near the sea level, it is at a higher height. Such a part which is uplifted due to rejuvenation is known as an uplifted peneplain. Now again here the river gets young, it forms a waterfall which is a characteristics of a youthful stage, and then it enters the sea. So obviously यहाँ पे the river will start eroding more. So what is an uplifted peneplain? The peneplain, it is a peneplain which gets uplifted and this results in river rejuvenation. River rejuvenation. The peneplain, which is a depositional feature, now shows some features of erosions, of erosional landform, So this is an uplifted peneplain. What is the peneplain which has got uplifted due to an river erosion is an example of an uplifted peneplain. So it is an example is, as I told you, Ranchi Plateau region. What are the hills known as in the peneplain? Monadnocks. So when the peneplain is uplifted, obviously the monadnocks are also uplifted, and this monadnocks in the Ranchi region are known as Pats. Nehar Pat, that is the hills in the Ranchi region. These are known as Patlands or Pats. PATS, Pats, not needed now. I will come to it in the Indian geography part. So what is an uplifted peneplain? It is an area which got uplifted, that is the last stage of erosion which has got uplifted due to river rejuvenation. Now the last part. Can you see in this river rejuvenation, there is a rejuvenation of a river, and whenever the rejuvenation is occurring in the river, because the rejuvenation has occurred at this point in a river, that is this entire area got uplifted. You can see there is a change in the slope of a river. So the longitudinal profile of a river was something like this, flat surface. Now how does the longitudinal profile, this was the old longitudinal profile of a river. Now how does the new longitudinal profile of a river looks like? The new longitudinal profile of a river looks somewhat like this. That is, the river is coming down graph, and suddenly there is a break in the longitudinal profile of a river. The point where the old profile of a river, profile is like a graph, we are making a graph, and the new profile of a river, after rejuvenation meets that this point is known as a nick point. Previous lecture, you remember I told you nick point waterfalls? That is, I told you that we will be doing this topic in river rejuvenation, that is referred to this topic. What is a nick point? Nick point is a point where the rejuvenation has occurred. The point jahan pe the land has either uplifted or whether the sea level has gone down. Jahan pe rejuvenation has occurred. The point where there is the change in the elevation of a land is a nick point. And obviously such a point will be represented by waterfall. The river is coming and suddenly the water is making a fall downwards. I will again show it in a diagram very properly. What is a nick point? Suppose we draw a graph of a river right from the younger stage to the older stage. The river will look, the graph will look like this. Now suppose this is a point, this is the profile of a river. The river is coming down and going and meeting into the sea. This blue line is a profile of a river where the river is coming down and meeting into the sea. Now imagine this point here. This is a point where the rejuvenation has occurred. Rejuvenation means anything. Maybe this land has gone down, that is, the sea level has gone down, and or this land has been uplifted. This entire land, consider this land has been uplifted. So how does it look like? It will look like it will look like this. That means now the river will flow. I will show it in red color so that there is no confusion. The river will flow like this, and then it will make a jump through a waterfall and go into the sea water. So this red color shows the new profile of a river, while the blue color is the old profile of a river. Now I want to mix these two diagrams. So how does this two flow of a river will look like? How was the older flow of a river? The older flow of a river was again a blue color, that it used to go straight way. Now where is this initial junction occurring? It is this point, that is the older profile of a river and the newer profile of a river is meeting. Such a point is known as a nick point. Or it is also known as simply NICK, nick point or nick. K is silent here, it is known as NICK or KNICK, whatever, what is a nick point. But generally you will see KNICK. Or it is known as the point where rejuvenation has occurred. So what is a nick point? It is a point It is a point where the old and new profile of a river meet. It is a point where rejuvenation has occurred. It represents a point. Rejuvenation has occurred. Therefore, it is known as head of rejuvenation. It is known as an head of rejuvenation. It is a point where the old and new profile of a river will meet. It is a point where old and new profile of a river will meet. What does it represent? What it represents, or how does it represent? What it shows on the landscape? How can a geographer, or how can you as a student of geography know that it is a weak point? What does it represent? Does it represent waterfall? Yes, it represents that water is falling due to rejuvenation, due to the upliftment of land, or due to the submergence of an sea level. So remember that Nick point always represents an waterfall. It represents an waterfall. Why waterfalls? Because there is sharp change in the slope. Therefore, this is represented by an waterfall because there is a sharp change in the slope. Now, which waterfall? As an example, as we have already done, Dhuadhar Falls. Where is it? Jabalpur district. Which state? Madhya Pradesh. What it is? It is the largest waterfall in India, one of the biggest waterfall by volume in India. Not highest, largest waterfall in India. Example of India is a Dhuadhar Falls. Or Marble Rock Falls. Why the name Dhuadhar? Because this topography is made up of marble, and when the water flows with great force here, large volume of water, when it comes and impacts, it falls down, the water is splashed in all direction, the small misty drops of water are splashed in all direction, and it looks as if you are in the clouds. So it is known as Dhuadhar or White Smoke or Marble Rock Falls in Jabalpur district of Madhya Pradesh. So this ends our rejuvenation. How are the questions in the rejuvenation? The questions generally asked in the rejuvenation will be, what are the different points associated with rejuvenation? They will give you, the question can be, what are features associated with rejuvenation? A. Nick point. B. Oxbow Lake. C. incised meanders. D. Peneplains. And E. River terraces. E. River terraces. Then what is your answer? A, B, D, A, C, E, A, C, D, A, C, D, E. What is the perfect answer for this? Nick point disease associated with river rejuvenation? Yes. In fact, Nick point, when the word Nick point comes, that means river rejuvenation, because it is the head of a rejuvenation, the point where rejuvenation occurs. Is the Oxbow Lake associated with river rejuvenation? No, it is associated with the end stage of a river. So this is not the answer. Then where are the B? This first is wrong choice. Then incised meanders, are they associated? Yes, incised meanders are associated. Peneplains, are they associated? What we did? Uplifted peneplains are associated. Peneplains are not associated, only uplifted peneplains. So no. Wherever the D is there, that gets cancelled. That gets cancelled. There is only one choice remaining then. The answer is 2. Obviously river terraces are also associated with the meanders. So this is one of the technique known as a negation technique, which will help you in the preliminary examination. Or even if you can be very short, you come directly to answer D. You come directly to D. You know that it is not associated. 1, 2, 3 cancelled in first step itself, saving your time. The answer becomes B. Okay, so this is how the different ways of solving. This is what the question can be. It can be mains question also, or the question can be explain the process of rejuvenation, giving examples, explain the process of landforms due to rejuvenation, giving examples. In 200 words. So this can be one of the, or they can ask you some small questions like explain nick point, explain the points where. But if you can write this, take this as an assignment, write it, look at the lecture, see whether you have covered all the points, again look at the lecture, and if you have not covered all the points, then try to cover whatever the points are available. So what are, explain the process of rejuvenation, giving examples, and one of the question I said you with the preliminary point. Now be very rejuvenated, study very hard. We will meet for the next topic, that is the small topic, river capture, and then we'll shift to the glaciated topography. So the next topic now is the river capture.